Step 1 requires a border all the way around the outside edges. So I'm going to put that in. Then I also need a horizon line and my vanishing points. Now in any beginning 2-point perspective project, I think it's best if you start with a horizon line right across the center. So I'll put that across. It's great for practice, gives you plenty of space below, plenty of space above. And I'm going to put my vanishing points right on the border and the horizon line. Again, this is RVP for right vanishing point and LVP for left vanishing point. As this is a practice project, I'm going to start with something fairly simple. It's going to be just a simple high-rise, or a skyscraper if you will. And as always, I'm going to start with a vertical line. So I'm just going to draw a vertical line starting above the horizon line, ending below the horizon line. This is always step 1 for a beginning 2-point perspective project. Start with the vertical line. Step 2, of course, are the alignment lines. The base of this, I'm going to make an alignment line that goes all the way to the left vanishing point and one that goes to the right vanishing point. Then I'm going to add the top alignment lines. But I'm not going to make these ones very long because I'm going to try to save my ruler a little bit. So I'm just going to make 2 lines that aren't too terribly long from the top towards the left vanishing point and one towards the right vanishing point. The next step, 2 vertical lines. And remember, this needs to be perfectly straight up and down. So I'm going to draw from the end of my left alignment line down to the base, and one from the top of the right alignment line down to the base. Now you can see my cube in there. I've got the left side and the right side. As we are making a skyscraper, I will not be able to see through it, so I can erase my horizon line through the center. Although this is going to become a skyscraper or a large building, it is still just a cube. It's going to need some things to define that skyscraper. First of which, all buildings need a door. So once again, I'm going to put my door on this side. And when I start anything in 2-point perspective, especially for a beginning project, I start with a vertical line. There we go. So I'm going to put in a vertical line. This vertical line is closest to me. It's the nearest edge of the door. And then to draw the top of the door, I'm going to line up on the vanishing point and draw just a short line just for the top of the door that lines up on the right vanishing point. Again, I'm using the right vanishing point because this is the right side of the building. Then I'll complete that with a vertical line for the other side of the door. And you can see I have the right side of the door drawn here. Now I'm thinking that the residents of this building are going to need windows, so I'm going to add some windows in. Again, I'm using the right side of my building, or I'm going to put them on the right side first for no real reason other than I might as well finish the side out while I'm working on it. I'm going to draw a vertical line. Now this vertical line is going to go the length that I want the windows to be. So I'm going to put all the windows up above the door line, and they're going to be on the right side of the building, so I'm going to use the right vanishing point. I can start with the tops and bottoms if I would like. And for the top, I'm going to line up along the top of the right and the right vanishing point. Draw a line there. This again is going to be the top of this set or this bank of windows. To finish this bank off or this set, again I'm going to make a vertical line down from the top to the bottom and erase the extra spots. So now I have this large space that's going to be filled with windows. Next I'm going to divide up these windows. I want them all to be separate windows on the right side of the building, facing the right vanishing point or towards the side of the right vanishing point. For this, I'm going to erase evenly some spaces down the side. They're all going to be about the same length, so I'm going to just make small little lines on here and try to make them about the same size. That's pretty close, especially for a practice building. It's okay. Line up on the right vanishing point. I'm going to draw a little line from the bottom of the first line. And I'm going to rotate this down to the top of the next line. Hold on to the vanishing point, rotate the ruler down, and continue the process. Right, you can see how I'm drawing a line to the right vanishing point from the top and the bottom of each one of these lines. So I'll continue that all the way down this side from the tops and the bottoms of each line. Once I have the top and the bottom lines drawn, I can erase spaces in the corners on the other side. Now there is a way for evenly spacing all of the windows and measuring all of this out. However, for a practice drawing, especially for entry level into 2-point perspective, I think this works out just fine. I'm going to draw some vertical lines to divide up all my windows. So I'm going to start this process the same way. I'm going to erase some spaces, and I'm going to try to let these lines get shorter as they get further away. So this first window is going to appear to be a little bit wider than the furthest window. And I can use my ruler and just draw some vertical lines down to space all these out. Trying to keep the lines perfectly vertical if I can. Now I'm going to erase all the spaces around the window, all those little connecting lines. I have all my windows all divided up, and you can see how there's all separate windows, and then there's basically a doorway down on this side. Maybe I would like to put some windows over on the left side. Well, that's really easy to do. If I want them to line up with the windows on the right side, I can check the top of the windows here. I'm going to put a little mark across the corner. Do the same thing at the bottom. So they cover up that same side. And put a little mark down there. That way I know how to line up, or where to line up the top and the bottom on this right side. But of course, as always, I need to start with a vertical line. So I'm just going to put a vertical line down this side, just so that it's a little bit longer than this mark down to this mark. And I can line up on that mark, as you see here. Put a bottom line out there. And the top line, making sure to line up on my vanishing point and of course the dot that I placed, or the mark I placed on the corner of that side of the building. You can see that it lines up pretty evenly with the top and the bottom. And I'll put in the line on the back side. And there we go, it's almost straight. Now the next step is to put lines down. I'm not going to divide this side up because I'm going to do this a little bit faster. So I'm going to start by putting a very light diagonal line up this way. And this will help me make those windows very even. Again, keeping it really light because it's just for alignment purposes. Then I think I'll start out with after I have the diagonal line in there very lightly, now I can just very evenly mark off my window lines, tops and bottoms. Sure, they're different than the first side, but it's just practice. Doesn't matter too much. There we go. Pretty evenly marked all the way down. I can use my ruler and my vanishing point. As long as I hold it on the vanishing point, I can just rotate the ruler up. It makes it a lot faster. There you go. Now you may be wondering what this diagonal line is for, and what it's really created are all these intersections. These intersections are going to indicate where my vertical lines will go so that all the windows look true to perspective. Again, trying to keep the ruler as vertical, perfectly straight up and down as possible. There you have it. Different set of windows on the other side. You can see that I tried to, although I missed in some of these cases, put a vertical line right through each one of these marks where it intersected with the windows. As I'm looking at my building, I notice that this is a pretty plain looking door. I used the vertical or a diagonal line to indicate where all of these windows will be. On this door, I need to find the center in relation to perspective. So I'm going to do that with a diagonal line too. Actually, I'm going to use two diagonal lines. This one and two. They're just going corner to corner. Lighter line is better. That gives me the very center of the door so that I can put a vertical line down through this. So now I can put a vertical line down through the center. And I have two even sides of the door. Now if I want to put door handles in the center, I could easily just line up on the vanishing point. I have the center of the doors marked there from my X. Put a couple little push bars on there. I've got handles for the door. I can also, maybe I'll put maybe there'll be underground parking on this side. I'm going to start with my vertical line for the corner of my garage door. Put a vertical line there, the one closest to me. Line up on my left vanishing point because I'm working on the left side of the building. I'm going to put the top of the door there. Line up with the left side here. Put that down. Touch it up. It always takes a little bit of touch up, especially if you're using a quarterback ruler. There we go. So this could be the garage door. Now if I wanted to have this drive in or have an entryway in there, I need to draw this wall, which is a right facing wall even though it's inside the left side of the building. So I'm going to put this on the right vanishing point, and now we can see the wall. So you can see that this is actually the floor, this is the wall here. I'll just shade that in a little bit. You can see that the next thing I'm going to draw is a refrigerator. I'm going to put it right beside, I'll probably put it on this side of my building. Now it's going to be a very large refrigerator. Remember, we're drawing a city that is reminiscent of the Surrealist movement. So we're changing up scale, we're trying to juxtapose things that are not necessarily related in an unusual way. So the next thing is going to be a gigantic refrigerator. My gigantic refrigerator is going to start with a vertical line. This is going to be the corner of the refrigerator that's closest to me. It's actually going to be right next to my building, so I could just extend the line up if I wanted to. Then I'm going to draw my alignment lines. This side of the refrigerator will actually disappear behind the side of my building, and this side will go to the left vanishing point. I need to think about my refrigerator, what it's going to look like. I think I'm going to draw one with double doors on it. So you can see that I've drawn it. It's fairly wide. It's going to be a fairly wide refrigerator. And then of course to end it, I'm going to draw another vertical line. And that works. Once I have the cube shown here, I can erase the horizon line from the center. And now, since my refrigerator is going to be the double door type with a freezer door on the left and a refrigerator door on the right, I need to find where that visual center is. So I'm going to draw a very light diagonal line across from corner to corner. Then I'm going to put a vertical line right down through the center. Just like that. Now I can erase my diagonal lines. Now you might say, well, it really doesn't look much like a refrigerator yet, and you'd be right. First thing, refrigerator doors are not perfectly flat. They're fairly thick. So I need to put that extra line over on this side. It's going to be a vertical line. I'm going to move it a little bit back from the edge. Now you can see the door looks a little bit thicker right there. My refrigerator has a ice machine over here, so we can add that in just a second, but first I need some refrigerator doors. I think I'll put those maybe right here. Just going to make some simple door handles, so you can see right there, that's the start of the door handle. You can use a vanishing point here to line up the top for my next door handle. Line up the bottoms too. Draw a vertical line down the other side. Line there and there. Now I've got a couple of door handles. I want to attach those to the door. And you can see those are the little attachments to the door, so I can reach in there and open my door. I could do another one here too if I wanted to, but I'm just gonna leave it off for now. Okay, I need an ice maker. So I'm gonna start with my vertical line, wherever I want my ice maker to be. Start right here. Something like that. Top and bottom alignment lines. Another vertical line. Some refrigerators have buttons and stuff on the top, so I'm going to put a little panel for that. Again, line it up on the vanishing point. Put a little space for the buttons. And then, let's see, I'm going to indent it so that there's space for me to put my cup in there. Get some ice. And draw a vertical line here. And an alignment line that lines up on the vanishing point on the left. Now this is a little bit advanced, but you can see the indentation there. You can imagine this being the inside of the ice maker here. Let me shade that in so it's a little clearer. You can see this would be the back where you press your cup in, right in here. Put a little doodad for your cup to press. There you go. Ice maker. As this is a, or appears to be, the corner of a city block, we've got a building, we've got a refrigerator for no apparent reason, which is very similar to something the Surrealists may do. I'm going to put a sidewalk because it's nice to have a place to walk near buildings. So I'm going to, I'm just going to put my ruler down here so that I know where the corner of the street might be. It's going to be straight down off of the corner of that. I'm going to put a dot right out here. That'll give me a place for the corner, for the street corner. Then for the left side of the sidewalk, I'm going to line up on the vanishing point and that dot that I just made. Draw a line. I'm going to do the same thing to the right side. There we go. I'm going to put a little line down for the edge of the curb, and I'm going to draw that curb in. curbs are drawn in. Now you can see the surface of the sidewalk, but there's something missing. That something would be the sidewalk cracks as that goes back. I'll show you how to put those in. We're going to start with the corner sidewalk, or the corner piece of the sidewalk, this corner square. I'm just going to extend that from the edge of the building. Same thing from the other side. Just extend the line, the alignment line that I drew at the very beginning. Extend that out. You can kind of see the corner there, which is pretty amazing. And put in another block. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to measure out here, and I'm going to kind of pick the center here, where I think the middle would be. In order to line these up where the next one goes, this is a little trick here that works out really well. It's not terribly accurate because I just arbitrarily basically found the center here. If I really wanted to divide this up, I could put an X in the across my outside block here. There you go, that gives me the center of that space. Then I could use that center, line up on the right vanishing point to the center of that cube, draw a very light line all the way out. You can see I was pretty close. Now to find out where my next square, following consistently along, I'm going to draw a diagonal line from the corner. This is a little bit advanced, so if you're not following along with me, don't worry about it too much. I'm going to draw a diagonal line there. That gives me an intersect point. And I can line up on that intersect point. Draw the next one. Draw another diagonal line from the corner out through the center line. Now, if this is getting a little bit too tedious for you and it's taking too much time, if you notice that each one of these blocks is gradually getting just a little bit smaller still. To do this left side, I'm going to show you how to do it the fast way. Now, in general, and I've heard this by other artists, this is called eyeballing. So every time I draw another line, I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller. And I'm going to try to let it get incrementally smaller as I draw them in. Just a little bit at a time. Gradually getting smaller. Rotating the ruler up. Always holding it on the vanishing point so that it does not move from there. You'll see that it's actually much faster, but less accurate. So you budding architects out there, take your time, do it the right way. Painters and draftsmen, we can speed this up a little bit. And there you go. Sidewalk recedes all the way out. All of these lines line up on the vanishing point.